Hello and welcome to episode 118 of Tech A Break. This is where we take a short break from the day-to-day and we chat with business owners and people to try and find out what they do, how they do, and the tech that keeps them moving. No Adam today. I would like it noted, Adam said he will make more of an effort to be on these. Where is he again today? He's not here again. So calling them out. However, very, very excited to bring back another return guest. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Daniel Sanderson. I'm the Centre Manager at Darlington Workspace, and I was probably one of, I can't remember when I actually appeared on the original.
Gosh, yes. It must have been about 2.
Might have been under 10 episodes.
Yes.
It must have been close to that. So yeah, I manage the Darlington Workspace Centres here in Darlington.
Well, welcome back, Daniel. How are you doing this week?
Very good, yes. As we were just saying off air, sort of glad it's the weekend. I think at the minute, this first few months of the year have been really crazy, to be honest.
They really have been crazy busy. So listen, for those people that don't know, give us a quick context about what Business Workspace is all about, please.
So we basically facilitate your business in the fact that we have office space on site across 2 sites now here in Darlington. To give you a bit more background again, I work for a larger organisation by the name of the North East BIC. So we have a lot more space in our Sunderland site, a larger site, a 7-acre site. And what we are as a non-for-profit organisation is there to support you and your business. That is, give you an office, give you the pathway to look at funding, how we can help your business plan. We can look at, is there a service we can provide with your phones, internet, all sorts, basically. So that takes everything of the management of your business in terms of the overheads out of your hands, and then you can kind of just focus on your business and go from there. Here in Darlington, we're a small team across the 2 sites now, with Innovation Central as well coming on board, and we kind of become part of your team, really. You know yourself that's what we become.
Absolutely.
And we've grown even since, I think when we last spoke, I think it was only Ben was the only addition to the original sort of team that were here, and now we have Erin.
The lovely Erin, absolutely. And of course that wraparound feeling, and I'm using your own words from your website here in Business Workspace. We are a community. We really are. And I think, as you quite rightly said, you have that opportunity to provide businesses everything. As you say, mobile phones, office space, quick plug, IT. Very kind of you to offer us. But yeah, it's that whole idea that anybody can look to bring their business to Innovation Place or here at Business Central, and you can offer that warm, friendly face and go, hey, office, telephones, IT support, podcast studio, whatever you need. And it's a real nice thing, and in your own words, a lovely community.
It is. Before I even started here, Vanessa Wood, who is now the area sort of centre manager for the whole organisation, she made a big thing about that of building a business centre that was different to the ones that either she'd worked in or that she'd come across herself. And I think that's what sets us apart, really, in what we provide. And it's always going to be that focus, a community focus, just like you said. And I think that takes sort of the pressure that starting a business, bringing your business somewhere new. You experience when you do that, because it's like moving house. It's stressful, and we kind of take that weight a little bit. So I think that's where we're good. We're good with that.
No, very good. So for somebody who's never been to either Innovation Place or to here, can you describe what does it feel like when somebody walks into Business Central on a busy day?
What does it feel like? On a busy day, to be honest, it's probably a bit chaotic. I would say that's people coming and going. But in a good way. I would say chaotic in the fact that we've either got a lot of meeting rooms on, we've got people that need things within that room. There'll be, either myself will be somewhere meeting somebody, or there'll be Margaret and Erin on the desk. You'll have Ian maybe doing some maintenance with Ben, or vice versa. But the feeling, I would say, is that it's quite a welcoming feeling.
It is,
and it's a warm feeling. And I think that you can come to us, of course, with a request for your business, come to the desk, but also come to the desk and talk to us as a human being. Because nobody wants to talk to a robot. And by that, I mean, you don't just want somebody who's just like straight as an arrow and only responds to do with work. We all, we go through what, we spoke about going out for meals, birthday parties, what you did at the weekend. And again, that ties into, I think, the organisation as a whole, that we try and make it a place that's good to come and work, because work's stressful and hard enough as it is.
Tell us about it.
And not everybody enjoys the work, but if you can enjoy coming to where you do work, it makes that sort of bit a little bit easier and a lot sort of nicer, you know.
I think so as well. No.
The world's stressful and horrible place at times, and it's nice to come somewhere that's friendly and welcoming.
So your role at Business Central since we last spoke to you has changed, hasn't it?
It has, yeah.
So you were like the little minion down here.
yeah. Minus the yellow.
Minus the yellow.
Yeah.
But now, obviously, describe what you do now for us.
Yeah, so I moved on from, I was operations support assistant when we spoke the first time. Kind of a jack of all trades, as in got involved with everything in terms of the facility side of things and the operational side. Now I am the centre manager of the two sites, so I manage the sites here in Darlington. And that now entails sort of agreements, the financial, a bit more of the financial, the boring stuff. Side of it. So it's changed in where I need to be is not the same anymore. And by that I mean I'm not having to be on the front desk as much. I've got maybe more meetings, as good and as bad as that may be at times. But yeah, so I sort of operate the centre and try and keep us rolling really with the good work that the team have done up until this point.
No, that's very good. And I just want to pick up on something there when you said about meetings. It's all about that. And again, you basically said in your bio, Dan, that you are a people person. And that's what I feel generally makes this place much different.
Yeah.
What is being a people person like in real life? You know, you've got to hold that hand out to hold people and maybe make them so welcome.
Yeah, you've got to be. I think you've got to be upfront with people and honest. I think you've got to show genuine sort of care to
an interest.
An interest. If it's a problem they've got, or if it's a problem even in personal life, because people will come to you and talk to you about the personal life, and that's good. That's what you want. You know, you want that to be a safe space. And I think that, again, tends to lean into what we try and promote. I think you have to be, a friendly ear.
Yeah.
Whether that's somebody saying, oh, I don't know, what do I do? You know, I'm struggling to get through all this work.
Yeah.
But how do I balance the finance of taking somebody on? Sort of all the trials and tribulations that you go through starting a business or even just carrying a business on. And I think people find that hard and sometimes think, where do I go or what do I do?
Yeah.
And sometimes just coming downstairs at both sides and talking to Ben or Margaret or Erin or Ian or any of us that are on the desk just sometimes takes that 5 minutes out of your day where you think, no, I'm all right now. Yeah, it clears your mind and you know what you're going to do.
And everybody, bless us, we're all human. Everybody needs that little, I won't say rant, but bless out me and obviously, Andy Davis from Trident.
Yeah.
He's been out and about in Thailand doing so much. He came in last night about quarter to 5 and he knocked on our door. I opened the door and I said, hello, mate, how's it going? How's life? And he went, I said, can I just rant at you for 10 minutes? I'm like, absolutely.
He often does that downstairs.
Take a chair. And he just ranted at me. And then he went, I feel so better for that. Thanks, Andy. I'm working late tonight. I just needed to get something off my shoulders. And I'm like, that's what I'm here for, my friend. It's not a problem at all.
We shouldn't, and I think we shouldn't be, everyone's in their own office, of course, but I don't think those doors shouldn't be, approachable. You shouldn't be able to go to the door and open up and speak to your neighbour.
Absolutely.
Or, collaborate. Of course, a lot of you, and I think that's, again, what we say, people sometimes don't realise who's in the building.
Yeah.
And if you don't connect and socialise and communicate, there's so much business or opportunity that you could have, or you might be able to work with each other, or you might be able to, somebody else puts you on to somebody else. And like you said, or just rant because it's just a hard place to be to try and run your own business.
Now, I want to pick up on something you said because we're going to delve into something a bit later. I do know that you and me are very heavy gamers. Mm-hmm. So here's a question for you. If Business Central was a gaming hub, are we talking a chill safe zone or a full MMO social place?
Ooh.
Hey.
Now you've got me thinking. Yeah. I don't, to be honest, I'm probably a mix of both, I would say, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I like to sometimes relax and chill out and play games, but then sometimes I like to be a bit more competitive and really go for it. But it's you've kind of touched on a passion of mine. So it's something I'll definitely go into that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've already said what Workspace is to me, and I've summarised this, but I just like your view. Mm-hmm. You do serviced offices.
Yeah.
You do co-working. You do virtual offices for the lovely open space downstairs. So let me just ask you to take us through a typical journey. If I came to you and said, I'm thinking about moving in to either Innovation Place or here, talk me through the viewing, the moving in, and then actually feeling part of the community.
So whether you ring us, you come to the desk, you're just a walk in, or we know you already, we sort of gather that information from you about what you need.
Yeah.
Really, we need to know from the get-go whether you need a certain size of office, whether you only need a place to drop in every now and then, whether you just need a place to have an address to a point. Depends on where your business is at. So we have to try and claw that information from you.
Yeah.
So the team will do that at the start. We'll get that information in and then build up sort of as I like to say, a menu of what you want to eat,
nice.
if you want to eat, sort of thing. And then we can go, right, this is what we've got available, or this is what we can offer you. So, for example, if it's an office space, we'll book a viewing in, and then we'll just talk you through the building, the operation of how it works, what's there, what you get included in your package, what's available as an ad hoc service that you might want to add on, when you move in and become part of the community. And is there anything that we can help you with in terms of, I need an IT support company. Yourself.
Hello, everybody. I'm here.
Is it marketing you need help with, or do you need training or something like that? And talk about the events, the gym that we have on site, whatever it may be. What benefits that we can provide you to have your business here and based here? That's a pull I think we're quite good at sort of implementing. Getting you through the door and talking about and basically saying, "Hi, look how good we are." And I'm not saying other business centres don't do things better than us and might have other things that we don't have, but I think once you actually come inside and you understand who we are, the people that you'll be working with, I think that probably puts us ahead of a lot of people and a lot of organisations, because we're not just a case of there's a person sat at the desk. They're just there. The reception and reception and you guys are two different things, whereas we're not.
No.
As I said at the start, we are basically another department of your business.
Yeah.
So we would obviously get that information from you, take you around, and then we just try and give you the costings and say, what do you want to do? What would you like to do? And that works in terms of how flexible we are with sort of our agreements, length of terms, things like that. Same if you're just a co-worker. If you just want somewhere to come and you're a startup, then again, the co-working is perfect for that.
Yes.
It brings you in, and we, I think, again, thinking of the timelines, I don't know whether, I think obviously we'd had COVID when we were last, after we'd gone through. And I think a lot of people lost the ability or the enjoyment, to work around other people.
Yeah.
So we started to see quite a lot of people come in for co-working services that had either worked for big companies or were still working for big companies but needed somewhere to go, and that company got rid of their office due to COVID. And they've started to slowly come back, or they've used that opportunity to think, right, actually flexible working, which is a big buzzword that everyone uses now, is probably more for us. And if they've only got, say, 2 or 3 people in an area, they might think, well, an office isn't going to be worth it. But we can provide a service such as the co-working, which again allows them to go from here, but they can also work in Sunderland as well. So you get that sort of dual partnership with our other sites. So if they need to go to that area or they need to go further north, they've got that sort of flexibility to do that, but they're not tied in. Yeah. So we do all that, we get all the fact find, we go through all the viewing, and then we can see what we can offer if there's anything that they come up with, or they think, oh, do you know of anybody who does this? And again, goes back to the communication. I think if you're upfront and honest and you plan, and planning's such a big thing, and I think we see a lot of people who rush a lot of things, who maybe commit and maybe take a step that's too far. We're kind of here to probably keep you grounded. Yeah. We want you to succeed. I'm not saying we're going to stifle your growth, and we want you to basically, the end goal is for you to move on from here, really, and to get your own building, to do your own thing. If you want to stay with us, that's great, and we want to keep you in here, of course. But if we can see that pathway and development that you've started either in the co-working, which, for example, Adam was like that. He started in the co-working. Eventually now, he's in here and he's got his own office and he's booming. But if we can see you develop and grow at a steady rate and not get ahead of yourself, because again, that can have a negative effect on your business, and it's no benefit to us if you sort of disappear into thin air because you've taken a jump that you really didn't need to. But sometimes it's trying to pull people back and say, whoa, hang on a minute. What do you really need that? What is it you really need, or what is it you're struggling with? Sometimes people find that hard to translate, I think. And it's up to us to sort of pick that out of them. I believe that's where we're really good at.
You are, honestly. And the 2 stories that I've got, without mentioning one particular customer name, but you're absolutely right. When COVID hit, God bless, I know the company in question moved out of here. And speaking to that particular person, they were at the time, don't need an office anymore. Everybody's now working from home because we've been forced to, and we've actually realised we don't need the office anymore. It was stifling us. Fast forward, they're back now, and actually, God bless this person, they've turned around and said, probably not the right idea because everybody wanted a central place. It was great during the time of COVID, but as soon as COVID relaxed and we all started being able to work together, we actually went, actually, we miss it. And now they've come back. And again, that's a great testament to you.
Yeah.
And the other story is obviously, God bless, if you don't mind, it's us. Look at how well we've moved from a tiny office with only me and Michelle, and we've moved 3 times now. And you've been, again, very accommodating for us. We've spoken to you, we've asked you and said, look, we're looking to grow. Can you keep an eye on what's available? And you've been great in saying, hang on, we do know this office is coming available. And as I said, we jumped 3 times in this place.
Yeah.
And for us, particularly, and forgive me for Dan and Eddie and the rest of the team, for me and Michelle, it was a place to sort of like stop working from home now. Segregate it. I want to be able to switch off.
That's your next step, isn't it? That's your natural side. People, we still get people now who come and say, I don't want to work in my kitchen anymore.
Exactly.
We had a guy only 2 weeks ago who said that, and we were like, yeah, I can understand. And that's something we've seen where people say, we need to take the next step. And I think this chap has got his own business. He did work for another company, but he does have his own business, which is what he wants to pursue. But he was doing it from home, doing it from his spare room, doing it from his kitchen. And he said, I've just got all this equipment. I can't do it anymore. I'm living in and around this as well. So we still see that now. Yeah. And I think your next step was we need to grow it in your case. And that is our job, is to say, right, what can we do? What can we do? Because we want to keep you. That's the whole point. We don't want you to go anywhere else. We want you to keep enjoying the service. And if we can carry on our relationship, then we will. Yeah. It's just part and parcel of growth. You want to see you guys grow. You want to see everybody take that next step. But it's just getting it. Everyone worries about time. Oh, I need to do it. I need to jump. I need to grow. And I think sometimes people get ahead of the game. It's just about, right, what do you need? Do you need some new space because you've got an extra staff member now, which in your case you did. You got more people on. So sometimes it's just common sense. Just talk to somebody and be honest with somebody.
Well, interestingly, and whilst I don't want to dwell on the fact, obviously it's big news at the moment about Brewdog. They massively grew, and now look at them. Unfortunately, they've had to be sold. Obviously, I think the BBC News, he went, I made some poor decisions. We pushed ourselves too fast and too hard. And that's what you're saying. Sometimes you do need to go, do I need a bigger office? And me and Michelle mulled it over a long time before we came.
It's a big decision because it's another cost you've got to factor into your yearly, finances. So
you have to do that. But also, the other thing I'd like to pick up on is in the original office where we were, me and Michelle knew we were beginning to run out of space. But also, what was impacting us, Dan, is. You, Dan, my Dan and Eddie, we were speaking to them and they were feeling cramped. And it was cramped. We were constantly moving
like tin
around.
Of sardines, wasn't it?
It was. And when I'm on a huge amount of Teams calls and I was very disruptive to the team. And you'll notice now I've got that big board in front of me. And that's just to try and...
I just thought Michelle had put you there. Yeah.
She did really. She just hides me. But that was in an effort listening to the guys' feedback and going... We know you're on your own a lot of meetings, Andy. We know you can't afford a single office, but can we somehow block? Not drown me out, but you know what I mean. So that board was literally trying to
have a bit of separation,
a bit of the bit that when I can just speak and not have somebody walking past me saying, "Sorry, you're just getting this PC." So all of that type of thing. So no, I think that's really good. And interesting in terms of what you were saying there. I wanted to ask about a couple of community stories. I was going to say, what's the best example of 2 tenants meeting here? But actually, me and Adam is the exact epitome of that. Adam needed IT support. I needed social media. And as we were saying off air, he then went, because we became good friends, that he said, I'm thinking about a podcast. Give me 6 episodes.
Where we are.
I see that all the time here, Dan. I do see people knocking on my door. There may not be a customer of mine, and we've seen this knocking on the door when I said, I'm really sorry. I know I don't use you for IT support, but this is just broken. Have you got a spare this? And I'm like, absolutely. There you go. Oh, thanks so much, Andy. What's the cost? I'm like, good. Nothing. Just use it. It's spare anyway. And I feel as though that is a massive thing within here.
Yeah, you do see in the atrium, maybe people just having sort of informal meetings, or you'll get some document that you need to print off and then you say, oh, look, those 2 names are working together with each other. We see a lot of that now, which again, it sort of ties back into what we said at the beginning. We're trying to get everybody to work together. And I think you shouldn't be a closed door. You should be, saying, oh, if somebody's got a problem and you've had that problem, you might be able to say, oh, well, have you spoke to them, or have you done this, or have you tried to do that? Bouncing ideas. The big have a big thing at the minute with the big ambassadors. So we have a couple of those guys who've had their own business, been very successful, sold it on or become a sort of consultation role. But are working across all of our sites now to be there as a support, because it is about bouncing ideas off each other. It is about saying, do you think that'll work? Do you think this? What would you do?
Yeah.
And because I think sometimes business owners are very introverted. And by that, I mean, they keep everything to themselves and they take a lot of pressure on.
Yeah.
And I think listening, because you just said you've listened to your team.
Yeah.
You spoke to your team about, is it becoming a problem?
Yeah.
And they said, yeah, Andy, it is, but it's up to you ultimately what you want to do.
Of course, because it's an extra cost.
Yeah. So, but it would help, and we feel it will be beneficial still in the long run for us we can both get more equipment in, we can do more things. You've got a little bit of a breakout area where you've got in your office now with your dartboard and stuff. But I think it all comes down again to communication. We spoke at the start about communicating with the desk, communicating with the guys as you come in, who was a completely new person who wants an office. Well, what do you want? We start that communication journey. And you've got to do that in business consistently, because if you don't, it's just going to fail. You're just going to be in old habits and just Groundhog Day.
Absolutely, mate, absolutely. Next question. What makes you most proud when you look around this building? And Innovation Place, of course. And Sunderland, of course.
I would say for me, the whole sort of theme across the sites is that how we help people. I think I'm proudest to see that, the centre of it is pretty much nearly full. That's great, obviously. Keeps the guys above me away. But I think that we see it full, it's thriving, and that there's an atmosphere. And by that I mean that we've got these things going on. And I think because we make it so welcoming and a good place to work, that I'm proud to say that, I can hang my hat on that, the team can hang their hat on that. And that continues to drive us. I think as an organisation that we want to see those companies and individuals thrive, develop themselves, personal development, but being better people as well is a big thing, I would say, for everybody here.
Oh, very good, mate, very good. Touching on technology for a thing now, we've recently, and I say we, because God bless you've involved us, we've recently revamped all of the meeting rooms, and you've gone full hog again with the technology. All the TVs have got a massive upgrade. You've got lovely air conditioning. You've got all of the now modern cons in the meeting room. Again, was that a decision to try and make the meeting rooms more available, more welcoming?
I think, yes. The sense I get from since they've been done is that they feel a lot warmer.
And
I mean, like,
that.
cozier, that you can sit in there. They needed a refresh anyway. I'll put my hand up. I didn't like the style of them. I didn't like the colour of them. I never liked the colour at all.
I hope Jill's not listening.
But now that we've changed them, and of course Jill was involved in that, again, a client that works from here.
Jill's fabulous.
I just felt, both in terms of where we were with technology, so going back to what the rooms were like, they had overhead projectors.
They did.
Now, we had worn them, the life out of them to a point. The room was built with sort of floor boxes, which had the connections to the projector itself. But they'd broken. So the upheaval of all of that to reinstall all of that through the walls, through the floors, is probably, I said, well, this is our opportunity now to look at, can we maybe just keep ourselves up to date technology-wise and what we offer. They were looking tired. So, we changed those. We've applied some TVs that, again, are wirelessly connected to. If you want to present, we have, again, they've got the speaker capability, so it's a lot louder if you want to present, do videos, do video calls. We've also got, again, new furniture, which, again, makes it all look nicer and adds to that warm, welcoming feeling. And I think we've had a lot of compliments since they've been finished. Is that, it's really nice in there. It's lovely. Like even just the tabletops and stuff where we have the coffee stations. We are looking at actually putting coffee machines in there.
Nice.
So that'll be an added little bit, but we just haven't got to that bit yet. But the cosmetics of it all, I think, lends its fact that, look, there's a space for you. Again, it's on site that you can come and use, and whether it's private or you just need a space to work, that it still doesn't feel clinical.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like you're just in a white room black chairs or whatever.
Gosh, absolutely, absolutely. But you also get that feeling, and again, picking up on a point that you made, for that person that you mentioned 2 weeks ago that is saying, I'm working from my kitchen. Again, I remember when we and Michelle first went, we need to move out of our house. We did the same.
Yeah.
We came, we looked, and we felt in terms of not only the office space, the parking, the fact that, yes, there's a meeting room, because again, I was always, when somebody said, oh, well, I'll come and see you when I was working from home, I'm like, no, I'll come and see you, because I didn't want them to know that I was working constantly out of my house. Whereas now, I'll come and see you, not a problem at all. I can have a range of meeting rooms right up to the big ones, and I've got no issue with that. And I think, again, all of that just stacks well in your favour. So hopefully this gentleman from 2 weeks, he will go, hang on a minute, I've got parking, I've got front-end reception, I've got post office, I've got a meeting room, I've got office, I've got a working space, I've got coffee, and again, forgive me, recently you've just installed EV electric charging. Perfect.
Yeah.
Because, again, you must have listened to people, and they were saying, well, I've got an EV car now. Can you install chargers?
Yeah. It's something you have to listen to your community. And you might not agree at the time, but some things that we can definitely look at and implement, both for the betterment of us and you guys who use the facility. The technology is advancing at any time, and what we look at, what we provide, we have to keep on top of that. We have to keep moving. If we don't, we'll stagnate and we'll just become a traditional old centre.
Yes.
It's something that we have to evolve with, and that goes for us as an organisation and what we do with our own processes now. We're using a lot of stuff with AI. Policy checks, stuff like that, running things through. We've had a lot more training for the broader staff now across the site. So we're trying to do that. We're trying to offer that for clients as well in here for running events. So we're trying to keep on top of it all and keep looking forward. It's always changing, and the service office space realm is constantly evolving, and I think work trends are definitely different than what they were, but there is still a place for a serviced office facility, and I think we are probably at the top of certainly in this area for what we provide and what we can do, and if we can help you grow, help you develop, give you a new service, give you an added product that we offer or somebody else offers, then we'll certainly do that.
No, I think that's really good. And I said the thing that you mentioned about there, and I want to pick up on it, is about the events. Not only do I come down or walk into the office on a busy day and I see you're hosting an event. I think you had, forgive me, the pet suite people.
That was that. Like the pop-up stalls.
You couldn't think of the word, Dan. You have multiple every week, or every other week. There's something there, like there's a perfume lady and all of that, and then you have the pet suite, and then you have somebody else who's offering business and that. And again, that to me just adds that not only can you come into the office and think, what have I got of work to do today? Taking that step out, looking out the window, oh, there's a pop-up stall. I'll go down and have a. You meet other people, you chat. Not only that, but you host events. You host the Darlington Business Centre. You think, I constantly walk past the meeting rooms going, ooh, there's a big meeting in there. So again, can I ask some of those big meetings, I don't believe they are people of this place, are they? They just hired the room, haven't they?
Predominantly, no. I would say they're not. They're not from, predominantly they're not from here, sorry. Sorry, so you're right, what you're saying. We get quite a lot of external companies now that come in, and I think it's more, the reason we have that is because of the location of where we are. We're so close to the railway station. Once the bridge reopens, again, it's an even shorter journey. We get a lot of companies who again want an away day, or they don't actually have an office. So going back to what we said about when COVID happened and people gave their offices up, it was a chance for these companies to bring, say, a number of staff together to work, or work for a week, for a couple of days, or whatever. And they tend to have been a lot busier in the last, especially the last 6 months. It's been crazy. But what we can offer in terms of that is we take it again out of your hands. We can order your food. We'll supply the teas, the coffees, all that sort of stuff. But going back onto the pop-up shops, I think Vanessa had the idea, and we do that now at the BIC as well, where we look at sort of local business or northeast businesses who are only who work for themselves, who are independent retailers, because they're still important. The community is still important again of the area where we are. Darlington, it's a thriving, or was a thriving market town originally.
Yes, it was.
But there is still a lot of good businesses out there that really do not get the exposure or don't get the support. So that's a way of, and again, if anybody knows of anybody who wants to do it, then please give us a shout. Absolutely. But it's a way of, again, breaking up, going back to being in here, it breaks up your day or the client's day, because you can come down and, you know, have a couple of stalls there. There might be a scent of candles, or it might be perfume, or we've had chocolate or biscuit places. We've had, you know, we've had loads of different variation of businesses. But again,
and cannoli people, and we're like, oh my Lord.
Yeah.
Like,
Doesn't help for the summer body, that does it. And I think you can't forget, it's all good and well working with big companies and larger companies and large businesses, but you can't forget the little man and the little, you know, businesses who are still there and are still fighting to try and be independent and work. There's still a place for that, and I think that again helps. But it works in the fact that it's a benefit for you, because it's a nice little thing to have at the site, because we've got, you know, ability for you to buy cakes, to buy items, products, but these also get a chance to exploit, and they might be able to do business, or you might again get repeat business from them, or they might need something from you guys. Again, it allows everybody to get the same chance.
No, I think that's really good. And one of the other things I'd like to pick up on is the lovely things that you do about your events. You know, you obviously host the summer parties, you obviously the Christmas parties, you host pizzas and all that. And again, that's a real nice thing. Obviously, it costs you. You know, sometimes we do contribute with things like that. But having the ability to go, right, sorry guys, 2:00, we're all going down because DBC are holding a party for us, a barbecue and stuff like that. It's great. You know, so again, that must make you feel when, you know, because I don't think I've ever turned up and there's not a space of it. It's like, bloody hell, it's rammed.
Yeah, it's slowly picked itself up. The last couple of events we have done, the summer and Christmas time party that we do, it's a nice way of saying thank you. I think giving back to the clients, you know, you spend a lot of time here with each other. We spend a lot of time with you. It's a way of saying thank you for choosing us.
Yeah.
And I think, again, that personable aspect of it lends itself to why you chose to be here. That's why you chose, because that's what we provide. But it's a nice way, again, to get everybody mingling and interacting and again, take a break. And we enjoy it. We love it. It's great fun. You know, we'll either do a quiz or we'll hire, you know, external entertainment.
Yeah.
Or, you know, we'll have, I mean, we've had animals and stuff here.
Absolutely.
We've done stuff in the car park, like carnival games. So it's changed over the years. It's, you know, we have to try and keep you guys entertained and not get boring. But it becomes, again, we're all human.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we're all people. We all deserve a break. You know, you need to have you know, just to switch off. And that is a nice way to say thank you for everything that either you've done or that, you know, you've done with us if we've worked with you directly.
Definitely idea. And I think picking up one of the things that we, Resilient, definitely enjoy, and I know it's come back a few times, is where you do get the roulette, the poker tables.
Yeah.
That's a huge hit every time. So you're not spending real money, but it's nice.
You win a prize,
You win a prize, though.
But
you know?
again, you kind of... And if the party lands on that day, you might have a bad day that moment, and you just forget. And you know, as much as business is important and being successful, you've got to look after your mental health. You've got to be, you know, you've got to have that switch off moment. You've got to have that chill, relax, and just have a laugh. But that the roulette has definitely been a fit. That's why it's come back so many times.
Absolutely, because people are asking about it. But that's an important factor I want to pick up on with you, is having that break. And you kindly mentioned we have in Resilient, we have the dartboard to go back, because we are in a lot of meetings. We are, you know, at beck and call of our customers, and you know, we listen to the guys. Me and Michelle sat down and said, look, you know, what do you fancy doing to have like a bit of a break? And we got like the putting green to start off with. That went very well. We got a bit of a basketball thing, but then everybody sort of like landed on, can we get a dartboard in the office? And we're going, don't see why not. And it's sometimes nice, even for me, when I'm sat working away, I know that Dan's been doing a very heavy job, or Eddie's been doing a really heavy job, and they'll just stand up and went, oh my goodness me. And then they'll go spend 15 minutes throwing darts.
Yeah.
And again, that well-being for them, I'm just sat there laughing and going, hey, good shot, Dan. And stuff. But, you know, I'm not saying, going, what are you doing? Get back to work. It's not about that, is it?
No.
You've got to relax.
You can't be shackled.
No.
I think because you stifle productivity in anybody. I'm a person who sometimes likes to be left alone. And by that, I mean, I like to get my head down. I might put my headphones on, stuck something in the background. But I still like to interact. And you do need that separation. And it goes back to, you know, people who were working from home.
Yeah.
Who said, I need an office, because they can't decipher between home life and work.
100%.
And I think that goes or stands the same even in an office. I think you have to be able to, because you have to be able to have a break from what you're doing, whether you've been on a long meeting or a long call, but you've got to be able to just try and rein in a bit, relax and go, right. Because if you don't, burn out.
Yeah.
stress, frustration,
Yeah.
whatever. You're only human. It's going to catch up with you. So you have to be able to be able to go, right, yeah, I need to have a break. I need to go for a walk. And it's knowing your own mind and your own body. And that goes for everybody, business owners, the guy at the bottom, the cleaner, whatever.
Right.
You have to understand that, and you've implemented that in your office. And we've always tried to say, you've got a little bit of open space area downstairs. Come and talk to us, which we mentioned at the beginning, about anything. You've got to think about yourself sometimes, because you're only going to affect the others or your own business around you.
Getting stressed yourself just breeds stress within the office.
Yeah.
Exactly. So one of the other things that I wanted to pick up on with you today, as I was driving in, I was like, what's a big fun thing that I know happens? Maybe not fun. Fun's the wrong word, Dan. But what's a big thing that happens and causes you a lot of work, but I find it really exciting? And what I mean by that is that when somebody moves out. So we've recently had, and you know the person I mean above on our floor. He's obviously now retired, moved on. But suddenly there's an influx of people that go, "Oh, can I have that office?" And you all suddenly jump around, and I see a flurry of activity. Is that something that's right when people do leave? Do people take the opportunity, seize it, and move?
Yeah, I think it wakes people up. If someone's been dormant in their mind, or they've been mulling the idea over, we haven't had that conversation yet. That sometimes happens, and then we're like, oh, really? Okay, where are you at with that stage? So we still have to implement the fact finding. What do you need? Are you sure this is what you need? Of course, it's available. I'm not saying don't take it, but that's up to you. So when that happens, we obviously have a process to follow, a procedure, but we sort of it's like literally we all jump up out of our seat, and we have little roles to do, or there's bits that we can do, but because we're quite flexible as a team, we kind of flip between all of them, or we can all do all of our own jobs, if you get what I mean. So we have a process in place, and then we have to get the ball rolling, and that's an exciting part, because it's, again, if it's a growth of a business that are in here already, great. That's what I said at the beginning, what we want to do. If it's somebody new, then that's somebody that we can bring in and say, hey, look what we're doing. Look why you should be here. Look why this is the place you should set your business up. And that goes the same for Sunderland, and we would still say the same there, that if we can help you, then you're in the right place. If there's something we can do for you. And for me, that's what it's a skill. I think that the organisation, the company, and the people that they've had in place have managed to sort of have a blanket across all of the sites to do. You don't get a differentiation in the Service Innovation Central that you get here. You don't get the same. You don't get any differentiation again in Sunderland or the wider places and sites that we have. So it's exciting, and that's what we're here for. And again, we want to be able to make it as smooth of a transition, whether you're new or whether you're expanding, as it possibly can be.
Well, I know that when we were talking about moving, our good friends Tony Dobbins, Anthony Jones, he moved out of that. Well, I would say one of the smaller offices. But again, he was growing. He obviously must have spoken.
He was going to have to put his staff on bunk beds, I think at one point.
He did pack them in a bit. But he obviously then moved to one of the other offices where the people had moved out. And then obviously I was saying to, I think, Ian at the time, we used that office temporarily to store the large TVs for that. And I'm like, is anybody using the office? And, oh, yeah, they're screaming to get in. And obviously that was Vicky from the gym. So do you see a lot of progression? You've obviously jump from office to office. Bless Anthony Jones has gone from bigger office to bigger office. So take us through that. What happens to the smaller offices? And what I mean by that, Dan, are they in more demand than the larger middle offices because of smaller business wanting to start up and move in? Or is it much the same?
I think predominantly over the years that we've been here, smaller space has always been the most popular. Price point, I would say, is probably the big thing. But again, our sort of mantra is the smaller companies or the smaller businesses. So that space has always been what we promote. Not that we don't promote the larger offices, but that's because that's there because that should be your next step or your step further down the line. Smaller space is the most popular. When Innovation Central was built, that was something that we sort of consulted with the architects and the builders that we would suggest, and again, working with the council, we suggest that the smaller space is your more valuable space that you will fill more. We have done predominantly a lot of that there as well, but we've got a lot of larger space that we've sold quite quickly, again, with the lab space, the larger actual office space as well. But when that happens, as we mentioned, where people want to move from one office to another in here, sometimes there can be a lot of pieces that need to be put into place because if it ends up being, oh, well, there's actually this person wants to move, then there's a second person who says, oh, well, I'm interested, and then there's a third. And I think recently we had, I think the most I've had, and it happened in the last 6 months, was about 4 or 5 businesses.
Goodness
which
me.
all like had a knock-on effect.
Yeah.
So one was moving or moving out, one was moving down, one was expanding, one was, downsizing. And I was like, right. And I think I got to Christmas and I was like, I've had enough.
done now.
Yeah, like I've had enough now. And it was a lot, but that can happen. It doesn't happen often, but the smaller space always is sort of I think, a bit of a match. It lights everything and everyone goes, oh, right, is that available now? And then you go, yeah. And we will ask people, or they'll come to us and say, yeah, if anything does come up, we'll have we've got our waiting list, as we call it.
Yeah, of course,
But if you're in the door already, then you've already sort of got a chance of getting in, and we'll look to say, right, okay, this is becoming available, Andy. Are you still interested?
Yes.
Same with if you're at a later stage in your development as a business. If you want larger space than where you already are in the building, then again, that's something we can try and give you a heads up on. But yeah, smaller space predominantly, I think, is still the most popular.
Yeah,
across the sites.
Obviously. Okay, switching style ever so slightly, gaming. It's a big passion of yours and mine. So, what's your current go-to game when you finish work? Because I know do you still stream?
Yeah,
okay, I'll come on to that later. But what's your current go-to game?
Well, I would say for 30 quid, it's been probably one of the best games I've played in a long time. Has been Ark Raiders.
That's available
which is
on Game Pass.
Which is the extract sort of shooter, which has kind of took a bit of a wave. It got quite viral with a few VTubers and stuff and YouTubers. So that's been one I've been playing. I've kind of lent into that, and I've kind of gone back to other games that are still around, like Rainbow Six Siege, all sorts of different ones. I'm excited for a few ones to come out that we're still waiting on an official date for, but I think I let me handle it. But in the Fallout with the new series that came out, the TV series, I enjoyed those. Yeah. So mainly my passion's first-person shooters is a big thing for me. Mix a bit of sport gaming and a bit of hero shooters here and there. But Ark Raiders has been the big one for me at the minute.
That's good.
Yeah,
I've been playing a lot of games. So Outer World 2.
Yes,
I finished that, which I found phenomenally good. Mafia, Old Country.
Yeah, I've heard that's meant to be really good.
It's superb, Dan. It really is. And then I was looking around for a game to play. I'm very much into my open world RPGs. And I can't believe... Well, sorry. One of my good friends, Darren, who I work with a lot, he went Witcher 3, Andy, and I went, I couldn't get into it, Dan. I really couldn't, Darren. I said it was so grinding and and he's like, Andy, I'm really sorry. I'm going to force you now. He said,
persist with it. Yeah.
Persist.
Yeah.
I bought it, luckily, £8 for everything because it was on such a deal with all the DLC.
Yeah.
I installed it. Interestingly, the minute I installed it, I started playing, and I got to a point where I saved my game. It remembered my cloud saves from 2019.
Right.
Okay. So, and I was like, oh, right. So I did play this, but I started looking at where I played. And I didn't get out of the first part of the world.
Right. Okay.
And if anybody knows The Witcher, you basically have to get out of the White Orchard, and you have an end of baddie boss or whatever for that particular level, and you do something, and you get. I never got past it because I was like, I can't get it.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing. It is very sort of like hard at the start.
Yeah.
Anyway, I persevered, and oh my goodness, I love it now. So it's blown my world again.
Yeah.
But it's quite interesting.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Console versus PC versus cloud. Where do you?
I'm originally a console player, so my predominantly was Xbox, PlayStation, the older PlayStations back in the day. I've played the SNES. I've played my uncles used to have that, so that's how I got into gaming was the Nintendo. So that would be where I started. I'm always been a controller guy, but in the last sort of, especially when I took streaming a little bit more seriously, PC is sort of linked it to in, and then I've seen how much of a benefit having a PC is. The games that you can get.
Oh my goodness!
Especially now with how the memberships and everything have merged. With Xbox and Microsoft, etc., and Steam.
Yeah.
PC for me now is far better, and I think, and even though there's the new Xboxes and stuff, but consoles, they still having the same problems. Memory. Yeah. People overheating their consoles. So for me, a PC, I think is far better value for money, and you know, what you get in terms of if you want to play games is insane. And I think the remote stuff's getting better. Like you've got the I forget what it is. Xbox are going to do one now, I think, on Microsoft. You've got obviously like the handheld stuff.
Well, ROG Ally.
Yes, stuff like that.
I've got.
Stuff like that is I think I would enjoy that for travel and
Have you seen one?
I haven't. I've seen one physically, but I haven't played with it.
Tell you what, I'll promise you Monday I'll bring mine in.
Right, yeah. Apparently, Dan said it's insane.
Oh,
yeah.
Are you in Monday next week?
Yes.
Right,
yeah,
I'll bring it in for you,
okay.
my friend.
Right,
It's
there we go. No work's getting done, by the way.
No.
If I'm not seen, right, boss, Vanessa, nobody, you haven't heard that, right?
Where's Andy and Dan?
Yeah. Just sandwiches and smells of food out of the cupboard. Yeah, he's still in there.
Yeah.
But no, they definitely PC's been the one for me now recently.
I think so. And again, I was Xbox, huge Xbox. I played Red Dead 2 when it first came out.
Yeah.
And then you see it revamped on the PC. And as you said, Dan,
I need to play that on the PC.
Oh
yeah.
my goodness!
I've played the console,
Did you? Yeah. But the PC version just blew my mind.
Well, my biggest thing, I played all those games early, like I said, the type of older consoles, but where I really got like took gaming, online gaming seriously was when Call of Duty 4 came out.
Of course. Yeah.
That was like when I was at school, and like we literally, your routine was you'd come home, you'd all get on.
Homework,
like that was like literally, I think, the start of this, like the online boom you see now, and not even just included in gaming, it like how we're all online now, and you know, smartphones, all that interaction where you could still contact your friends, and people say, "Oh, gaming's really bad," you know, and big negative persona, I think, on gaming. I think it didn't do any damage to me. I think it's important. I still was able to connect with my friends.
Yeah.
You know, we had things that we could do. We still went out and we all either played sports or we did clubs or we still went outside. That, you know, that's still a good thing. But gaming can give you so much, and it gives you. I think I did an article actually for here when I first started talking about gaming. I think it was around about when Fortnite was massive, and I said that gaming again, an outlet is huge, stress reliever, a switch off point. But yeah, it's important. I think. Again,
I think so.
Yeah.
No, really so. The only thing is I get in trouble off Michelle because obviously I close my laptop and keyboard down
and open another one up,
and then I get the keyboard and gaming monitor.
Yeah.
So it is thing. I know you're massively into your streaming at the moment. So are you still twitching, as they say? Are you on Twitch?
Yeah, Twitch. I've just started setting up YouTube and stuff and getting understanding
I was about to say about YouTube.
Do it on TikTok as well. TikTok gaming is quite big now. And I think I actually said the other day I'd only heard of it, and it's funny how social media works. I'd only heard of a song, or as far as I was aware, it got big via TikTok because it was obviously used as an overlay of a sound.
Right.
And it was, I think, is it that Olivia Dean song?
Yes.
Yeah, and I'd heard that on TikTok. I don't listen to the radio anymore.
Yeah.
I literally do not touch the radio, and that's really where I think, again, gaming and social media, that becomes quite advantageous. But yeah, TikTok, Twitch, you know, I'm doing it at the minute roughly around about 4 nights a week.
Right.
And just trying to balance out on it. And we're seeing some traction, and I'm starting to have a little bit of work with, or discussions with companies and stuff. So, but yeah, it's even though it's got the opportunity to be a part-time career, it's just a passion. It's you know, I'm a big sports guy, but gaming's still massive, and I think you see how the popularity of it, you know, you're starting to see esports centres open up. I think we've got one actually opening up not in actually Sunderland, the site, but they're in the area of Sunderland. There's some portable, you know, companies that do stuff for birthdays and things that you can get like people to basically bring a rig with them for a party.
Yeah, land parties.
So it's a big sort of business now, esports and stuff like that.
Absolutely. And I think, as you say, the streaming culture, and again, talking and linking Business Central, Business Workplace with game, it is all, again, it's all about that community. You get loads of friends online, you know, you chat to them, you work with them, they may live on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
As far as you're concerned, you put your headset on, you're like, hi guys, how we doing?
Yeah.
And you have that open discussion, and you are actually having fun whilst being social, I believe.
Yeah, you do. I think you again, switch off point, you can forget about your day, whatever it is you're doing. But you get to interact with people as well that you probably would never have interacted with. And I've had people who I've interacted and become friends with from America, you know, Europe, and still either have them, you know, on a social media platform, so I see what they're doing, or they still game still now. And I think, and I'm not saying don't travel the world, don't go to those places. But what I mean is it's a great way to, again, socialize and be in a community, be with friends, make new friends, and just kind of, just enjoy yourself, because life is stressful. Life is
life is stressful,
and that's a good, for me. That's always been an outlet along with the sports.
Well, just on the same theme, on the same line, one of the things that me and Michelle did, which we found very good, is we are both big avid fans of the Jason Bourne films.
Right, yeah.
So one of the things that we actually did from the Jason Bourne film, we were like, and it was the one where he was set in Berlin.
Right, yeah.
Just purely from like, where was he in Berlin?
What were they doing,
What were they doing? You then suddenly found that somebody, an online TV guy, had created a downloadable PDF, and he had situated all the places in the film. So me and Michelle deliberately booked a holiday to Berlin and deliberately got the PDF, and then we're like the clock tower where he is, and this guy had printed the PDF where you could see the film where
play out
he
in
was.
front of you.
But then you had to look and you went, there it is there. And then you went to the next, and honestly, that was phenomenal for us. It was so nice.
But it's like a city map, isn't it, really? Really, but like a modern version.
No, absolutely. Okay, so I've done a little quick fire modern gaming question for you.
Okay, right.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
So first question that pops into your head, away you go. Live service games, Great Evolution or Burnout Factory?
Great Evolution, I would say.
Microtransactions and battle passes, fair or foul?
I would say more foul now. Yeah, foul. Yeah, because what you get, quality of content, and what you're actually getting, I think they just took it too far.
Recently, I think I've read recently this morning, aren't Fortnite increasing the price of their V-Bucks?
I wouldn't be surprised.
They are. They are increasing, saying that they need to.
Yeah.
But I think it's getting a little bit too much now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Best modern game soundtrack. Not Sophie.
For me, I mean, I don't know whether you call it modern now, but Halo 3 was like
unbelievable, my friend. What a game and what a soundtrack.
Yeah, like even now, when somebody dubs it over a clip, you think, oh my God, it takes you back.
Absolutely.
And sometimes sound effects from a game remind you of a time. I think that with Call of Duty's being the predominant game I played originally.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely, I would say Halo 3 for a soundtrack.
I actually couldn't agree with you.
Yeah.
Esports, sport or spectacle?
Because I'm such an avid gamer, I'd probably still say there is a mental side to it. Oh God, what is it? I'm on the fence a little bit. Okay. I'd say it's a bit of a. I lean a bit more to a spectacle, but there is still an element of a.
Oh no, there is.
Yeah,
no, I get you. Yeah. I get with them. Okay, here's a good one. If Business Central was an online game, would it be? What genre would it be?
What genre would it be? Probably a simulator, maybe.
Okay. Well, I'll
go with that. Go with that. Yeah.
Solo play or co-op?
I would say co-op at the minute for me. Yeah.
And who's the raid organizer? Ian.
Yeah. No, I'm good. I tell you what. I'll go. To be fair, I'll say Margaret.
Right.
I'll say Margaret.
Definitely. Here's an interesting one before we wrap up. Work crossover. What gaming has taught you that you genuinely think helps people at work? Is it teamwork, systems thinking, resilient? No, I'm resilient. But resilience?
Yeah. What has gaming taught me that I can apply into a work setting?
Yeah.
I would say that probably communication is massive. Not that we didn't already know that, but I think in a game setting, and again, applying it to a business mindset, that you need to communicate clearly, you need to communicate efficiently, because if you don't, it all falls apart. So whether that's you trying to complete a mission on a game, in the end, the mission here in business, in the real world, is you need to stay in business or get an office or you need funding or whatever it is. That's the mission we have to accomplish, or we have to help you accomplish. So I think communication is the only way that that's going to be successful, and that goes to the same for gaming, and it goes to the same for business.
And just picking up on that point, if you think about your interest in Call of Duty, if you didn't communicate with your fellow team members, it just wouldn't work, would it?
No.
And I think when that came about, I think that was one of the main things that people suddenly went, I can become a part of a team. Obviously, I'm not condoning what the Call of Duty thing is, but part of a team.
Yeah.
And
well, we even had a group of friends. We had a clan. That was what we called. So there was people. But you could in game in the moment you had to communicate if somebody was in a position or you need this supply. If you were playing an extraction shooter or you found this item, you need to still tell each other what's there, and that goes the same for business. You said you spoke to your team and you said, what do we need? Make you feel better. That's an example of that.
Yeah.
And I think without communication and being upfront and honest, you don't get anywhere. You just go around in circles. You just move the problem further down the line that you're going to have to deal with. As much as you might not want to, you have to take those hard things and those hard decisions sometimes. But if you're being black and white with somebody, that's what I expect from anybody is be black and white with me, and that's what you can only expect from everybody else.
No, absolutely fantastic. Right, my friend, wrapping up now then. So what does the rest of 2026 look like for you and for Darlington Workspace?
For me, I'd probably say more change, different things to deal with.
Say it with a bit more passion.
Yeah, I'm just preparing myself mentally. Maybe I need a dartboard. No changes in a good way, as well as hard work. I would say for myself. In terms of the company or the organisation as a whole, I would say continuing our journey.
Yeah.
Still thriving to sort of tell the same stories and provide the same message, and who knows, potentially at a larger scale and a further expanded scale that will be maybe
interesting. I was going to ask about that. Where do you see Workspaces evolving? Because I know, and I think, don't quote me, but I'm sure the last time you said there are always things that Workspace are looking to expand.
Potentially stuff in the background or what we provide as just an individual service and what we can improve. So there is stuff going on.
Darlington's expanding massively.
Yeah, well, the area, like I said, is ridiculously busy in terms of development at the minute. You have the Treasury building that I believe is obviously the foundation stuff started. We've recently had the announcement of the STEM Centre, which is going to be on the Central Park area here, which is going to sort of be around sort of the science area. But Darlington as a whole is developing, and it's an area that we've seen a lot of people who've relocated their business to. So I think it's going to be a good place for you to be able to start your business.
Oh gosh,
or to bring your business to. And we've got to be the ones to cater that and be at the forefront of that.
Okay, before we wrap up, one final question. What one piece of advice for someone starting a business tomorrow would you give? Call Daniel at...
call me here, I actually thought about what you'd ask today. And this was one of the things I thought you'd ask. I would say for me, it's got to be planning. I think a lot of people don't plan enough, and I think they don't plan to really think about and again, go back to the need. What do they need? What do they really need? Is that fancy thing over there that you think you need because somebody else you've seen online's got it? Is that going to help your business? Is it not? I think planning is such a big thing that a lot of people really fall short of. Because we've seen over time where people have done that and again have fallen short really. And I think that because they don't really think about the logistics, the practicalities, what they need, what they don't need, and planning will prepare you for that. Of course, it's going to be hard times, it's going to be hard moments, but it's how you can manage those. And if you've planned well enough and you've basically thought, right, if this happens, we can deal with it. But if sometimes you can't plan for everything, I understand that. But I think if you don't even put that effort in, then I think planning is a big thing, I would say. Planning and communication, I would say, is the big thing.
No, it's really good and really exciting for people who are looking to set a business up. And I would agree. I spent a long time planning Resilient, thinking about it. Conditions forced me to do it.
Should I do it?
The conditions forced me. And if we think about back to last 2 weeks, our lovely friend Martin from Shinny Payroll, his hand was forced because of redundancy. Mine was forced because of my job. Not that I'm saying that I wouldn't do it, but we planned it for so long. And if you think, in 20 years, whilst we've been in business 21 years now, 4 times we've effectively moved office, home to here. And I think, again, we've not jumped without carefully consideration, communicating with you, going, have we got somewhere? Okay, now that you have, what time scale? And me and Michelle
need to wait.
Absolutely. Me and Michelle have gone back. And again, I think you're right in terms of planning because, yes, having a larger office is more expense.
Yeah.
So what happens? We moved to a larger office because we've got more customers and needed more room for hardware. What happens if those customers go away? And we go, okay, so give it 6 months. And again, talking with you, can we in 6 months, if nothing works, can we? Yeah, absolutely, Andy. You know, and you were very helpful with all that. But I agree, planning and communication, massive.
It's key, and I think you've got to kind of not hang your hat on one thing, as in one contract or one person you're working with, because it can sharp change at any moment. We've seen where the way the world is. You know, people or businesses can just disappear. But if you're, you know, relying on one thing and that's just your business and that's the only thing you do, then you are going to get found out. Really, as honest as it is, you know, it's all good and well pretending to be, oh, look at me, I have my own business. But if you don't do that planning, you know, that thorough thought process, you've said, do I need to do this? Can I do this? Sometimes timing is never going to be right.
Correct.
To make that jump. Sometimes you've got to do it to try it, but then you have to work your backside off to keep afloat, keep yourself going, keep yourself evolving. And if you've planned, that'll get you so far. But hard work and communication is the thing that will take you to the next level, I think.
Yeah, and I think that's great. Listen, Dan, so much excitement
thank
there.
you.
Thank you so much for doing this back. It's really good. So for anybody that wants to start a new business, these are the people to talk to. How do we get hold of you?
Yeah, you can get hold of us on darltonworkspace.co.uk or just come and drop in. We're at 2 Union Square in Darlton, just across from the train station. I'm here. I'll probably be gaming with Andy. But yeah,
Don't look for us on Monday.
Come and see us. We're friendly people. If you just want to chat, you want to talk it through, and if there's something that we can't provide here, then maybe at another site that we operate, we can help you out.
If anybody asks about IT.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Dan, thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me.
We always end with what are you doing for the weekend? So what are you doing for the weekend?
Oh, I wish I had an exciting answer. I'm actually painting my porch. I've just moved house, so we've got...
moved house recently.
Yeah. So we've had the upheaval of that. So we've got a bit of cosmetic stuff to do. And hopefully, touch wood, it doesn't rain. And we can get out and do some other fun things with it.
Yesterday, it was
with the Ben and the dog, so that'll be the nice thing. That's what I like to do, is either game or I'm with the family. So
of course. Yeah. So is that painting the porch all weekend, or will you have some downtime?
No, downtime. I don't think it'll take too long, unless I want to be like Picasso and take my time. Put a mural on the wall.
Absolutely,
my face, maybe. Yeah, so the missus can see that every time she walks out, walks in. So.
Or maybe a Call of Duty scene.
Yeah, that might be better.
Good. Yeah,
but yeah, exactly. so boring, but I don't mind that.
No, God, sometimes you do need a bit of like, thank goodness I'm not doing anything.
Yeah,
exactly. Well, for myself, it is actually my birthday tomorrow.
Yes, happy birthday.
22.
Yes,
I'm going to be 21.
Look at that. Yeah. Them face creams are working wonders, by the way.
Absolutely. It was actually my son's birthday yesterday.
Yeah.
So weekend we are going to Saltfish in Darlton, beautiful place with the family, and that'll be all good. And then Sunday, Witcher.
Yes, yeah. Good man. Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's my weekend.
That sounds
all
good.
Planned out. Listen, Dan, thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you
I appreciate
so much
it.
of that.
Thanks
and
for
hope
having me.
everybody has a lovely weekend. See you later. Bye.